Hey guys, Brian Schoaf here for BombasticEntertainment.com, and today we're going to take a look at the tricks and treats of NECA's new Ultimate Michael Myers based off his appearance in Halloween 2018. The figure comes in a window box. It's the standard for NECA's Ultimate figure line, so if you've bought one of them before, you know what to expect. The movie poster covers most of the sides, but on the back there's some nice product photography. NECA always does a good job with these, showing off a good range of the figure's possibilities. And inside we have the boogeyman himself, Michael Myers. The promo shot on the left here, I'd bet a no prize, is the porch from NECA's old The Night He Came Home set. So if you have that one, get ready to put a much better Michael in that diorama. Speaking of diorama pieces, inside the box they included a nice open door backdrop that looks straight out of the original Halloween. NECA does this kind of thing with most of these Ultimate figures, but this is one of the nicer ones I've seen. I usually just throw these away, but I think I'll be hanging on to this one. Once Michael escapes his maximum security clamshell, you can see he comes with a nice array of accessories. First up, you've got two heads, and at first glance, you might be wondering what's the point. Probably the biggest difference are the eyes. On the stock head, you can see Michael's eyes molded as a separate piece underneath, creating a nice layered effect, where on the bonus head, his eyes are completely blacked out. So that was a thoughtful inclusion because fans are always arguing which way looks better. The other big difference is the hair on the secondary head isn't as wild as it is on the stock head. So between the two, I think they were trying to split the difference and give you options for creating scenes earlier and later in the film. There's also very minor differences in how the eyes and mouth are sculpted, so you can really study it and pick the one you like best. There's a pretty gross decapitated head. This is a victim straight out of the film, so that's a nice touch. You can probably use this with your Predator sets if you want, and the head is hollow, so you can add a light and actually make it look like it does in the movie. It's this kind of attention to detail that makes me keep buying all these NECA figures. You know, that and like they own every non-Marvel license in this scale that I care about. But anyway, we also get Judith Myers' tombstone. Now, we know he stole it, but I can't think of a single scene in any Halloween movie where Michael's actually seen with this thing. But it's still a nice inclusion because you can use it as a miniature diorama piece. Moving on, we got some extra hands, and counting the stock ones, that makes 2 right and 4 left. I wish they had included a non-damaged right hand, but that's just a minor quibble. For the weapons, we have the famous claw hammer. There's a bit of blood in the paint deco, and you can see it shining in the light there. That's pretty cool. You got Michael's trademark kitchen knife. And a fire poker from the end. I think right here, that's every weapon he used in this film. But the coolest accessory by far is the pumpkin. There's a push button on the top, so you push that in, an LED inside lights up, and it flickers. It's nicely done, and it's reasonably bright, but as you'd expect, it looks best with the lights off. Now onto articulation, the head has a pretty nice range of movement, and I like that it can look up quite a bit. The shoulders are ball jointed. We've got double jointed elbows, which are great for those stabby poses. I'm kind of surprised there's no torso movement though. I mean, I get his waist not moving because the body of the coveralls is one molded piece, but it's soft and flexible. There could have been a hidden abdominal joint like the 90s Turtles had, but yeah, Michael has abs of steel, I guess. That said, he really does have the exact right posture you'd want him to have. They really nailed the way he stands, I mean, just that sense of presence that he has. The legs are a little bit limited by the onesie, but the knees bend pretty well. So it'll work well for posing him on, like some porch steps if you built a diorama or something like that. The feet have a nice range of motion as well. I think they're ball jointed, and they aren't too limited by the pant sculpt like the legs are at the waist. I have to say, though, this is by far the best Michael Myers there has ever been. Compared to the old McFarlane figure from '99, it just blows the thing out of the water in every way imaginable. You know, speaking of McFarlane, Michael, I bought him 20 years ago. I was told there was nothing left, no reason, conscience, only the most rudimentary sense of articulation and accessories. I met this figure with this blank, pale, motionless face and the dullest eyes. I spent about 10 years trying to reach him, and then another 10 trying to keep him off the shelf because I realized what was living behind that toy's eyes was purely and simply disappointing. Now, NECA did a Michael figure back in '04 with the Night He Came Home box set, and it really wasn't that much better. It had a nicer paint job, but it was also statuesque from the waist down and had very limited articulation. I'd like to show you that set, but it's extremely rare, and I don't have it. Personally, I didn't discover NECA until about 2011 with this RoboCop figure. By that time, their sculpting had gotten a lot better, and they really started to figure out the articulation side of things. So while we'd get great horror figures like Jason and Freddy, Michael was out of print, and they had lost the license. Now, I point all of this out because the long wait is a big part of what makes this 2018 version of Michael so special. It benefits from all the advancements in sculpting and tooling NECA has learned over the years between releases. And if you put their original Michael next to this new one, just like this old McFarlane Michael, it would look like they came from two different companies. You have all the modern benefits of their ultimate figure treatment, like interchangeable heads and hands, double-jointed elbows, ball-jointed hands and feet, and the level of detail reproduced at the scale, particularly on the mask, is just out of this world. The figure is extremely photogenic, and you can really go wild recreating some colorful scenes with him. I wouldn't be surprised if his body gets reused by NECA at some point in the near future. Well, that's it. If you like this video, be sure to check out my Bombastic Entertainment channel. We make short films, interactive adventures, all kinds of fun stuff. And if you're thinking about picking up this figure, I highly recommend it. I think it's unquestionably the best Michael Myers we've gotten to date, and a great addition to your horror figure collection. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up with a comment below, or if you get a hold of this figure and take any cool pictures, share them with me over on Twitter or Instagram. I love seeing that stuff. And if you had any doubts if this was the boogeyman, I can tell you, as a matter of fact, it was.